And also he teach in different universities, such as UC Berkeley and Tokyo City University. And he got a bachelor degree and in the Musashi University of Technology in Japan. And he got a master's degree in University of Pennsylvania. And then before his own office, he is a partnership in the Richard Rogers office. We all know he and his wife and designed a lot of famous buildings in the world, such as housing, high-rise building, kindergarten, and so on. And in this project, how to respond to the human life and the environment is a key design element. Thus, we all know the simple concept and the elegant space impress us very much. Let's welcome the Tezuka.
Are you ready? Wait for them. I don't think you can see the videos over there, or I think you should try to sit in the middle. You don't have chair? Are you okay? Can you see? I don't see. I have a extra chair.
真空包装起来。
Can you see the picture? Okay? Are you doing okay? Right. For Japanese, somehow Taiwan is the closest country, but I didn't have chance to come for a long time. And when I went to University of Pennsylvania, I found many of my friends helping me are from Taiwan. And always I was treated as a part of Taiwanese community. This is how I got many friends from Taiwan. But always my friends were so busy, so I was seeing them outside of Taiwan. So I didn't see any of them here. But now we got a chance to be invited from this country. And I really appreciate this chance. I really found there are so many similarities about artificial education between Japan and Taiwan. Because a lot of effort onto artificial education is about the construction, how it builds things. But I think architecture is not just only construction. It's really about how we use it. Maybe I should stop. I should wait for it. Okay, let's start my lecture. As you can see, I'm in blue, and my watch is blue, and my iPhone is blue, my socks is blue. And some of them said that I'm wearing the same thing for all the time, and it's not washed. But it's not, because I have more than 100 exactly same T-shirts. and actually, my wife is in red. We are a red and blue couple, and since we decided to make everything we share into yellow, so we made our daughter into yellow. And since we got our son next, we were planning to my son into yellow as well, but my daughter didn't like to lose her color. So, still she was 3 years old, she started giving her brother to be in green. Now he's made into green, so we got the 4 primary colors in my family. The reason why I'm talking about my family is that everything we do starts from my family. Usually many architects try to make this architecture as an object in Japan, but I don't like that kind of way. Always in my office, I say, if we don't know how to have happiness, or if we don't know what this happiness is, there's no way we can provide happiness to others. Because architecture is about human life, and our task is provide happiness to others. We need to know about it. And I'm going to start my lecture from very first project, very small, yet it's very important. And eventually I move on to bigger project. So please be patient. Written roof. And this house is called roof house. It's quite strange though, because every architecture has roof. But the roof house, very special meaning. And this is a very typical Japanese house built after World War II. No insulation, very cheap, and the client was living in this house. And whenever I talk to my client, our client, always ask client, what kind of lifestyle do you have? What do you do on the weekend? What do you eat every day? And always we try to beat their fan, so that I can understand their lifestyle. Then client said, on the weekend we have lunch on top of this small roof. They took us to upstairs and crawling out from this small window. I said it's impossible, but they were showing this picture. And it's looking quite dangerous. I told them that you got to be careful, they may fall down, because see that the stalactites are falling off, they know hundreds, whatever. But they said, no problem, but always not our parents are going out with them. And eventually the mother, means the wife, started saying, and whatever you design, we don't care, but you must have a rooftop where we can climb up. It was a kind of very strange request, but I found it serious. So we made very simple drawing, like this. Roof, a house with a roof, looking down the valley. And the rooftop is not flat. But the inclination is a very important part of the concept. Because inclination helps people to understand what they want to do. Always I tell my students, if you want to have a first date, don't go to McDonald's. And if you go to McDonald's, you are sitting in front of a small table, facing with your new girlfriend or boyfriend, and it's close distance. Then you have to keep talking, and within 30 minutes, silence comes. There's not so much to talk about in first date, and eventually, silence comes. And it's quite awkward moment, or you may start saying wrong things, and wrong things start. There's no turning back. But close to my university, there's a river called Tama River. And on the river bank, there's a sloping side. You find many couples sitting on there. And I found a sloping side along the river is the best dating spot. First of all, when you're sitting on sloping side, you can't face each other, because if you're sitting sideways, you roll down, and you have to sit towards the river. So you don't need to face each other. And even silence comes. It's not awkward anymore. It becomes romantic. And secondly, you can keep conversation. For example, you may say, okay, there is splash on the water. Yes, there might be a quite nice fish down there. You never say such a stupid things in McDonald's, but it works on the riverside. And the tertiary, let's move on to the next step. I will talk about the detail in university. But my point is inclination forge certain kind of intimacy between the couple. Then we did a study about the piazza or squares in the world. And we found most of the famous squares practicing people are inclined in the inclination. For example, the one in front of the Pompidou Center got 5-degree inclination toward the building, and the one in Melbourne is inclined. And the piazza in Siena is also inclined. And if you look at the other famous squares, like the one in Beijing, or the one in Trafalgar in London, or whatever, and then it's a famous square in Piazza San Marco. Always people are just on the edge. The middle is occupied by the pigeon. So I found the inclination is a very important key to make a social gathering. So we left this rooftop to be inclined, and this is the residential area on the edge, and looking down the valley. And the rooftop is a kind of lift-up inclination of the ground. And then we were thinking how we can bring people up. You know, the family used to crawl out through the small window. You know, when you do something you are not supposed to do, you are not allowed to do, you feel good. You know, it's a kind of golden rule. So we decided to put the small window on the roof and a leaning ladder underneath so that people can climb up. Then younger sister said, "This is my skylight." Then elder sister, that time younger sister was still 7 years, just becoming 8 years old. Now she's a university student. That's a long time ago. And then elder sister said, "This is my skylight." And father said that the one in the bedroom is mine. And the mother said, "The one in the kitchen is mine." And eventually you started ending up 8 skylights for different purposes. And then the family said, "We want some kind of privacy." It's a kind of strange family saying, you know, we want privacy while they're climbing on top of the roof. And because there are they are saying because there are 2 houses very close to this house, and then they wanted some kind of wall, but still they want to pop up their head to make communication. Then the wife said, "You know, my mother means the grandmother of this house, saying, my grandmother is living down about 80 meters down this way, and she opened the rain screen of her house in the morning. And the mother said, I want to make sure if she's arrived in the morning, so we have to cut off the corner. It's very important. And then they want to have lunch on top of the roof. So they said, so we had the table and the benches. And the interesting about this table is that one side is shorter, another side is longer. So it's the smaller kids sit on this side, bigger adults sit on this side. They said, you know, summer is very hot in Tokyo. You should know that summer in Tokyo is even hotter than here sometimes. Last year the temperature reached 42 degrees, exceeding Taiwan. So they said that they want to have a shower on the back of the wall. And winter is cold. That's that part about Tokyo weather. And now, so they wanted to have a stove here. But actually, financial reason, it didn't occur. So this is how it's designed. And then this section was made. And then there are many schools letting students to trace this section as a first assignment, even in London or New Zealand and China on the United States. But it's quite unusual section. I don't think it's a good one to trace because the beam size is very small. The reason why we made this beam to be very specific is that we wanted to use just only one kind of member, 105 by 105 millimeter. So this is exactly the same size as the column, so there's no leftover. And we wanted to make roof to be very thin at the same time, because we want to juxtapose two kinds of light. One is on top of the roof, another one is underneath of the roof. And when you grow out through a small window, you want to have a feeling to pop out your head through the small, just a sheet of paper. It needed to be quite thin. And also, they said they want to have a barbecue on top of the roof. I said, don't do that because the wooden house, you're going to burn your own house. And they said, okay, we're going to have a barbecue in the garden, but you have to make sure I can pass barbecue through the edge of the roof so that we can make sure it's low enough. So this is only 1.9 meter. And always European basically complains that this rooftop is too low. So the Scandinavian visitors always stand like this on the edge. But as you know, it's quite good enough for Asian people. Then it's a very standard plan. You know, you don't see so much interesting curvy wall or inclined line. Very simple, very similar to traditional planning. And this is a really first sketch. Not so many has been changed. Now just we have 9 levels, so we can store all sliding door on this side, making this room to be one. And the peculiar thing about our drawing is that always there are people. These kind of things, because our architecture is about people. This is the roof drawing. You can see many things going on. Neighbors having lunch, and actually this is elder sister. She was trying to be a part of the Olympic soccer team. She failed. You know, that time Olympic team wasn't strong enough, but she was a captain in soccer team amongst soccer team. And then what she said, you know, rooftop is very good because when she kicks the ball, automatically ball comes back. It is right. And the birds and some people are sitting on the edge. You can see many things are going on. Roof construction, very simple. You know, we applied plywood on the both sides of the grid. So each square represents one a sheet of plywood. So these are kind of non-directional slab, like a door panel. It acts on both sides. By the way, this is my wife. Yeah? Right? Very simple. Now it's built. And this house has been published in so many countries, so many books, and so many magazines. And we counted up to 300. Now, I don't think. Suddenly, strange sound started. Okay. Okay. And then this became the front cover of a Japanese architecture magazine called Shinkenchiku. And there are some complaints about the feature because some serious architects saying this must be illegal architecture because there is no handrail. And actually, we were drawing handrail on top of the planning application drawing, doing a planning application to get the permission to get things built. And then Crown is on the government side, and he said, no, we don't need a handrail because, for example, if you look at the old picture of my house, this rooftop didn't have any handrail. And if you look at the neighbors, no roof has handrail, and no roof in the barrier has handrail. What's the reason why we have to have a handrail? So we submitted planning application drawing. It worked, no complaint. And then we got all kinds of prizes. You know, the Japanese Architecture Institute of Japan, you know, all kinds of prizes, and even international prizes. Architecture Prize. And then this house became so famous. then younger generation wants to save, and then they started submitting planning application drawing without handrail. But they draw people on it. They were not supposed to do. And then always the officer said, no, you have to put handrail on. But always the young architect said, there's a quite famous project called roof house. And they bring a picture. And now this one got even the prize from the government. Why can't we do that? And then always our officer in the government side says, no. That's the reason why you can't do that anymore. So this is a roof house without handrail for the first time. This is the last. I really like it. Nobody can do that anymore. And this is the one to look at the valley. And actually, building code rule. Do you understand building code? I know that you understand because building code exists for two reasons. One is protecting people living inside and or using user, and also protect city or surroundings. And first of all, the people living down there is quite happy all the time. And the edge is very low, so that sometimes they jump down. And this neighbor will love this roof house. The old man loves beer, and when always he says, "Do you want beer?" And when you accept it, he comes along with beer. He starts a bigger beer here. And also next door neighbor on the back love this house because there used to be a two-story house. Now it's single story. They can have a wooden deck in front of the upper level. And also this path used to be quite empty in the morning. Now there are joggers and also people with dogs doing stretching legs. Because they know that the family member always has breakfast here. It becomes a kind of custom to say good morning, and it is becoming a kind of neighbor's custom. So every morning we see many people are going through. It is just on the edge of the residential area. There is no reason to go there, but it's kind of control point they have to go. Now the husband became so famous in the neighborhood. He became the mayor of this area. And as you know, always construction starts from the rooftop. Because once you provide a roof, you can shut out the rain underneath. So even the construction wasn't finished yet, they started using rooftop. Still we were doing meetings about construction with the client. And client said, okay, let's order pizza. So they use mobile phone to get the Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut guy came down with a motorcycle here, and he said, who ordered pizza? And all members are upstairs, and there's actually a ladder and just behind this wall, and they put ladder on the edge, leading Pizza Hut delivery man to the top. First thing he said was, where I take off my shoes. And then the family member loved it, so they kept doing this all the time, many times. And then they found out the pizza guy who used to deliver pizza all the time didn't come. Always different people started coming. So they made a question, what happened to the boy who used to come all the time? But they said, this house became so famous in Pizza Hut. They wanted to make a turn to see so everybody can see. So this became the most famous house in the Pizza Hut in this region. And this is how we eat breakfast. They eat actually. And in the 90 years history, Japanese architecture magazine, Shinkenchiku. Actually, actually, the name of the magazine was different before, but same company for 9 years. They filmed, they pictured architecture with people on it. Usually, Japanese architecture magazine doesn't want to have people on top, especially with clients. That is a kind of clear a distinction between serious architecture magazine and house magazine for family. But the editor said, well, we have to have people on top. Then usually an architecture magazine has a kind of critique to write about the previous issue. Then one of the critics said, rooftop should be very hot in summer, very cold winter. I don't think the rooftop is in use. It's wrong to set up this kind of fiction in the magazine. Then, for the first time in the 90 years history of the Shinkenchiku, client wrote back to the magazine saying, we eat breakfast everywhere in the morning, every day in the morning, on top of this roof. And you are wrong to say that. And then we got even the Shinkenchiku prize. And then at the time, right after the prize award winning ceremony, the critic was there, maybe critic, and also client came. And for the first time, client made a speech before the architect. But they made a very specific speech about condition. They said, rooftop should be very hot in summer. So you should go up to the roof before sunrise or after sundown. It's cool enough. Or in the winter, you should go to the top of the roof after the lunchtime. It should be warm enough. It's a very simple message. They said we Japanese used to be able to find a comfortable environment instead of bringing the environment to us. It was a very good comment. And then now I should talk about environmental issue. And in the summer, people go to beach in Japan. But the funny thing is that they always want air conditioning, just like this. I think it's too cool. You should set it down. But no, it's okay. Just there. And in the winter, winter is very cold. Sorry, I think you're wearing a jacket. I think you should turn it off because your professor is getting cold. Do you know how it off? People in the front row trying to warm this up. And then winter should be very cold. So it's better. Winter is very cold, so people won't stay in front of the stove, but still they go to skiing. It's a very strange thing because skiing result is minus 20 degrees. So what's happening is that temperature, best temperature for human being, it's not just about numbers. It's really depending on the environment. If in the environment is enjoyable enough, people can stay on in harsh weather. Because we are designed to do that. People don't melt in hot weather, as long as you enjoy. And I say always better to provide iced tea instead of putting people into air-conditioned room. That is kind of basic issue about the most eco-friendly kind of architecture. I think Professor Kato knows a lot about that. Environment is not about temperature. It's about human life. This is the worst kitchen we have ever had. What happened was we had no budget for the kitchen, so the carpenter found these in the backyard of his workshop. But this is all we could do. But you know, they're using this quite a lot. Actually, the gas company refused to bring gas to the top of the roof because they didn't understand the concept. And the shower on back the wall is completely open to the air. I said, they may not use it, but the children might use it, of course. Our children, including our children, use this quite a lot. And then we got the call from the wife. That was the day of the typhoon. It was quite nice to take a hot shower in a cold typhoon. I said, you got to be very careful. And she said, don't worry, I'm wearing t-shirts. I don't think she understood what I'm concerned about. Serious about, yeah? Right, since we use all the money to the rooftop, you know, there's nothing on the ground floor. They call it sofa, and they didn't even have a curtain. You know, usually Japanese house has show paper screen and other things, and there's nothing else. And they are dreaming about American life. I think they misunderstood American life. They said American house is open to the garden, and there is no boundary between the street and the garden. And at the beginning there wasn't even the bush, the boundary trees. So it was a continuation. The garden was a continuation of the street here. It's no street, it's a path, right? Then one day we got a call from client. It was just the second day they moved in. They said, yesterday morning, we woke up in the morning, Saturday, they found neighbors are standing, looking into this house from the past. And next morning, they wake up, the neighbors were standing in the garden, looking into my house. And then the husband made a question, what's doing in my garden? They said, you know, when do you open this public building? The neighbors saw this is a kind of public facility for the gathering because it's so open. So now they decided to put the green on the edge so that they can still keep the stranger out. And also still, you know, they don't put any curtains. They said no privacy. No, we don't need to worry about it. There's nothing to steal. Then this is how the inside is looking like. Very cheap house because this is a very fast project. And but I have to tell you, it's a very important part of the concept. Everything is one by one. And as I said, the each skylight has an owner and a specific function, and each skylight can be with ladder, green, and also one function has one light bulb hang. So everything one by one. And then they call this privacy. And just that they bring the sliding door from one side to cut this vision from the street. Then I said, you know, the bathroom is on the front of this, in front of this, and outside of this closed area. How do you get to your room after taking a bath? They said, no problem. Just we need to run fast enough. And there's skylights, and then taking baths, and they're looking up the stars, and then taking brother to go up, cooling themselves down. And the one for kitchen, and this is a ladder to go up. And I saw kids running up down, that they enjoy quite unique games. They create games, a neighbor, and it's kind of interesting vision that kids popping out from different locations. There used to be a game called Feel Love It. You can get a hammer to hit the head. And maybe the younger generation don't have such a kind of game, but the our generation knows. And also I have to tell you, the thinness of the rooftop is very important because you can feel things going on top of the roof. Blue and red socks. And then this is the things underneath the roof. And, these days people are saying, we should use LED or fluorescent light for efficiency. But we are saying it's not actually environmental friendly. If you talk about just efficiency of the equipment, maybe the candle is the worst. But we don't say people saying that using candle is bad people for the eco-friendly nature. And we work with the lighting designer called Masahide Kagurete. He made a very interesting comment. The most beautiful light in the world is a night view of the city, looking down from the mountain or through the window of the airplane. People think it's beautiful because each light represents the life form. Do you understand what it means? No. So each light has a meaning. If you look at the white light, maybe there's a car with a couple inside, and if we see the red light, a yellow light, maybe there's an Indian lady making curry for her grandchildren, or there's a white light still junior high school student doing study. So it's about the light. Then he told me one story about improving a street. There's a street called Motomachi in close to Tokyo. The city council said they want to improve the street because the street getting darker and darker. Then Masahide Kagurete worked on it, and it was supposed to take a few years because they thought they need some kind of money. But he came back with a film and saying, now it's done. They went to the street. They found out the shopping street is much brighter, and they asked the reason. They asked the reason why he did the work so quickly. He said, it's simple. We turned off the street light. We have the eyes, adjusting the brightness from the 1 lux to 10,000 lux, because we have a control in our eye. You understand what it means? And because the city tried to brighten up the street started being very bright, up to 6,000 lux. But all the buildings most of the buildings were under 300 lux. So everything became dark, and except the street. So bright street with dark buildings. That was what happened. But once they turned off the street light, all the light from the buildings came back. So everything's light. And the good thing about these lights are related to human lives. That is how people feel about brightness. So it's not about numbers. Then he was start putting as just a simple light bulb. But we found out that's the best way because we can put light bulb wherever we want, and at daytime you don't see it. But if you start putting ceiling, you need to brighten up everything. And also this is responding to each human movement. And now how it's looking like after dark. And one skylight for each skylight, one lantern for each skylight, so 1-by-1 relationship. So when you go up, you turn it off, 1-by-1, turn it on and off. And there are so many kids all the time. And my wife, my partner, made a question: how come there are so many children. And the younger sister said, "Oh no, this house became so famous." So we started. I started bringing all my friends, and then the classmate who has never been to this house started being outcasted. So I had to bring everybody else. And then next class people started coming, and neighbors started coming. In 1 year, they had more than 1,000 visitors. Became so famous. Then, and I have to tell about two important things. This house taught us two very important lessons. First of all, we didn't need to tell the concept. In a way, people see the building saying, "Okay, we should go up to the rooftop." And when this house was built, in an architecture review, do you know architecture review? Do you buy architecture review here? And I think the most well-known magazine, architecture magazine in the world, published this project. And we were published along with Toyo Ito or Shigeru Ban, and Kazuo Sejima. So we are so much praised because we are much younger generation. And but when we looked at the article, there is one wrong thing, because they were lying that as they visited this house, that they were saying Tokyo is lack of space. This architect came up with a funny idea, putting people on top of the roof, and they have living room on top of the roof. And actually, this house is in Tokyo, but they were lying. But we liked it because the editor understood the concept instantly. We are not artists. You can't put concept right next to the building, explain the concept. You can't do that. We are not students. But on this project, we didn't need to do that. And secondly, this house changed their lifestyle quite a lot. I can tell one story. This is a wife sitting behind the table, and she got a degree out of psychology. She became a kind of counselor in junior high school, and she found the counseling session is not going well in a concrete building. So she decided to do counseling on top of the roof house. And then one day she brought a very bad-looking guy. These days the junior high school student is even taller than me, and a big guy. And the guy was looking like a young Clint Eastwood, and looking like a very bad guy, and then going up to the ladder. And then suddenly he started changing his attitude, saying, "Yes, I would be much better man if I was grown up on top of the roof." And then he went to very good university. He went to Waseda University, But yeah, he became very good man. And then there are so many students change their lifestyle, and they start setting up roof house foundation. Now they're saying, okay, we should have next generation, and we should preserve this house forever. But they're not happy about it, because their owner, they are not allowed to destroy this house anymore. It became kind of an icon for these generations. Then the owner of this kindergarten came to us. We want to new our building for this kindergarten. Okay, and then we went there, and the buildings are awful. They're all free design, but we liked it so much. And the external corridor, and the principal kept walking into each classroom. We could hear the earring of the children. It was so active. We liked that feeling. So I told the principal, I think you should keep it. No, you don't need to rebuild it. And so then it became opposite. Usually we try to get the project, but he really said, no, you have to design it, and it's your duty. And he started taking us around to show all the leaking point and the problems of the house, the problem of the building. So we had to take a commission. We designed this, And there used to be several buildings along the street edge, in the south side, and the principal used to walking back and forth in the external corridor, hopping into the classroom. I said, if we make it circle, he doesn't know he should end, so we can keep him walking around all day long. So we made a circle, and also we thought about our children. Our children love to keep making circles. If you have a children, you should know that they love to keep making circle around everything. It's a kind of memory built into reward cortex in the brain, just like puppy trying to eat own tail, keep making circle, just exactly same. So we made a circle, and also we kept trees. But keeping tree is not easy, because if you cut the root, tree dies. This is a tree popping through the roof. So we had that kind of excavation to make sure the root is not there. We didn't cut any root. And then we built it. Then principal said, actually, while we were designing it, they said, no, I don't want any handrail. I said, it's impossible, this is a kindergarten. And he said, how about having net sticking out from the edge of the roof so that we can catch the falling of children? Children falling off. Sure. And he was still serious. But we are not sure about it. But somehow he convinced me, so we went to government to get the planning application document. And they said, are you insane? And so we went back to the kindergarten saying, we are totally insane. And then he said, no, you have to go back. And he called government again, local government. And there's a guy waiting in the government saying, I got a call from principal saying we have to approve it. Actually, he's also from this kindergarten, very big kindergarten. Everybody's from here, in the neighbor. So he did a kind of compromise. Said, okay, let's call it a kind of, there's no way he can do that on the edge, but he can do that around the tree. And he called this kind of handrail, and we put net around the tree. And these handrails nothing to do with the kids. They keep jumping in the air. Okay, there's no relationship between the handrail and the kids. And we get more kids, more. 140 children. Children love to jump in the net, and this boy loves the tree because he's eating it. And there's a handrail at the very end, and we made a few mock-ups because he kept saying we don't want the handrail, maybe the net is good enough. No, I said no, it doesn't meet governmental standards, and also the gap between the vertical berm is designed in specific dimension 110, cannot be less, cannot be more. Then we made a few mock-ups to show how strong it need to be. And one is shaky, one is very strong. And he went to the shaky one. Yes, I like that. So this is very shaky handrail. But he liked it. Actually, it's strong enough to keep people out, but still shakes. It looks good though from the downstairs. It's a kind of zoo with monkey. It's not feeding time, it's an agricultural class. And one of the interesting things about this rooftop is very low. And also rooftop is not flat, it's inclined towards inwards. And actually there's a basic rule about the school building in Japan, saying the ceiling height must be more than 3 meters. maybe the same stand in this country too. But the principal said, this is for the kids. Roof should be low enough so that we can see everything going on. He wanted to see things going on to the roof. And we designed it as it is, and the government didn't like it. Local government said, no, it doesn't meet just the rule for school, and we can't provide you governmental loan to build the kindergarten building. Usually, when people school build a kindergarten, government to provide some kind of fund to build it. But the principal is quite rich man. The owner said, no, I don't want any money. Just we do whatever we want. And then always we had a kind of complaints for the government. And then last year, and suddenly we got a call from UNESCO and OECD in Paris. UNESCO, your building is selected as the best school building in the world in the last 50 years. And what happened is that they tried to make a big event to help, building a good school building, because they think that most of the school buildings are crap. And I think you know that. And then they asked internationally to select a few buildings to as a recommendation. And in Japan, one young Japanese officer selected this as the best, not talking to the superior. And then 33 countries submitted 166 representatives. This became the best. And then suddenly got the call from the Ministry of Education saying, your building was selected as the best for the world. And then this principal suddenly got the ministry prize by hand. And then we were invited to go to Paris to get the prize. And then my wife was selected as the people to set up a new rule for a kindergarten. Now we are the one to set up new rule for the building standard for the kindergarten. So we are saying, we should make everything circle so people can run on top of it, and when you don't need a handrail, then we do whatever we want. It's good that we can change it. And it's very simple. And at the beginning we couldn't green because in winter, ground gets frozen. If you put green in the winter, all the green thing dies. And you can see a mound, and there's a story about that. The straight stairs. And the principal is a very special person. When kindergarten start, they it's same around the world all the time. Principal said, your children, talking to parents, saying, your children may break legs or arms in my kindergarten, but we make sure they don't break their neck or backbone. He's quite serious, but he made it very clear, because these days children never break legs or arm. They break legs or arm. They break neck or backbone when they grown up. They got injured when they are still small. So he tried to measure the right height. So just they break leg or legs, arms, but not breaking the neck. So we made a mound. But we had a problem because they know that the soil is soft, so they have to started making mud ball, bringing all the mud to their own house, raising the house ground, and this disappeared. So until you put green, it keeps disappearing. This is a place to collect leaves because there are big tree And each tree is about 30 meters tall, more than 30 meters tall. It's big, they're cover trees. And this is like washing place, and all these have specific feature. This is a good one to spray the water to your friends, and a shower and a big water tub. And this boy is not washing his boot; he's putting water into the boot. Okay, now just this is a very important picture. You know, people saying, there's not a very special feature, structure feature about this building. I said, no. That, there are so many special things, and when you go there, you feel it. Almost there is no column, and it's that also positioning is not its column is not regular. It's quite random because we put column where we don't disturb kids' movement, and also column is very thin even in earthquake country. 30% of earthquake on this planet happens in Japan and Taiwan. We are on earthquake, all the time. So we have everything in the earthquake country, but still this column stand because we made a special joint on top of the roof and underneath of the roof, and also we did a kind of dynamical system to analyze all the vibration, each frequency, and each beam got different harmonics, so there's no specific harmonics throughout the building. So the vibration stops, and also this sliding door, a special detail because the line is wobbling. It's not perfect because we wanted everything to be like that, not following computer line. Is that we wanted to be the best line for the kids' movement. So there is a special joint to the special top absorb movement, and also a railing is running like a train, and the acoustic condition was analyzed in 3D, but we don't see that. In the 19th century or 20th century, we had to adjust ourselves for our technology. The movie called Tron, not Tron Legacy, the original Tron. And the main character of the movie got sucked into a computer and fighting as a computer-aided game, as a blue or green fluorescent light. And in that movie, future was represented by computer the future. So whoever controls the computer got rich, and also the important figure. But if you look at the movie called Matrix, things became different. Matrix started from the beginning of this century. The things going on the computer is much more real than real world. So there's no difference between outside of the computer and the inside computer. Even much more real than the outside world. Now we are in such a kind of station. iPhone, this thing beaten up Sony completely. And when it came out, Sony kept saying the Sony mobile phone is much faster. There are more content, so they can enjoy it. But nobody wanted Sony mobile because there's a kind of instruction, this thickness. Nobody wanted to read it. The Apple said no instruction is needed. Now my daughter and my son makes drawing on this and putting the drawing onto email, and he sends that to me. And my son started doing so when he was 5 years old. So technology, it's not important anymore. Technology exists like air. Now the things are called mantra. Everything in the cloud. So just the technology is there, just like air. You don't need to understand it. It's there. So we wanted the architecture to be like that. In the 20th century, show these things, showing how we are capable of using computer is the most important thing. Now we can do in 3D things, the computer now we can do. But I think that is last century. On this century, we should think about what we are, what human life is. just like a matrix. We don't need to show what we are capable. And we should think what we can provide for the real human life. We call it nostalgic future. Now technology is ready for real, human life. We don't need to worry about small things. Now we're going back. And this there's no boundary between the classroom. It's very important for them. Now, there's a professor about human behavior, making research of this kindergarten. There are two very important things. First of all, there is no outcast or humiliation in kindergarten. Always humiliation is a problem in the kindergarten or school. And the principal said, no, it doesn't there. It doesn't happen here. And the old teacher said, no, there's no humiliation or outcast. And then principal said, when you make a kind of cage around boundary of the crowd, always the crowd start making a hierarchy, and all those lowest caste, lowest caste get segregated. You can see that in prison or a zoo in a monkey cage. But when you take out all the boundary, these things doesn't happen anymore. So if he doesn't like this class, he can move to the next one. And the principal, and also there's a teacher on the next classroom can help this one. So that kind of station is, we found it's very important. And the secondary, concentration of the kindergarten was very outstanding. And every morning there used to be a TV news starting from this kindergarten, because they think this is the best place to start. When they try to do that in normal elementary school or kindergarten, and always children try to get into the camera, and then all class stops. But in this kindergarten, they keep concentration. The principal saying, noise from next room is very important, because we are supposed to, raise children in the noise. Now this is that we are trying to build a kindergarten or school building in acoustically insulated space, but it's wrong, because white noise disappears, and children need to get the skill to get necessary information from the white noise. You understand? We people are capable of making conversation between 5 kilometer distance. You can talk to mountain ridge, and your voice bounce back, and then your own voice travels more than 5 kilometers. Still you can do that. So if even you were in very thick wall, still you can from outside. Even when it's very quiet. Human ears are quite outstanding. There's no way to stop it. It's white noise now. It's crazy. So these days our children doesn't stay in the seat. That is becoming really a problem. And now the white noise, that comes in, background noise, comes in, our children become quite stable, and they start listening to the others. And it's a kind of another trick. Then this is how they divide classroom. They change room configuration every month. They were supposed to help the children, the teacher. The children are supposed to help teacher, but they don't. Stimulation. This is the classroom. I think it's Christmas time. This is washing space. How do you call it? It's a kind of well. Because wash basin, we had to make a kind of well, and we liked it because it's a kind of tool to provide compensation around the well. Because these days Japanese kids keep talking to the computer game, not talking to each other. Christmas time, and this is a tree inside the classroom, and this girl is trying to fish her friend. Monkey. And there are many skylights again, and at the time of Christmas, they hire Santa Claus to bring present to each classroom, because there are more than 20 skylights. Then we had a problem one day. There's a big American Santa Claus started to get in, and he was stuck between the frames. We couldn't get him out. Sorry, just I think there's nobody, people understood. Okay, I explain later. And now it's just that we are using very basic light bulb instead of using LED. It's very important. And the principal said, no, I don't want LED, because we want to see what's going on about energy. Even you use LED, if you turn on everything, it's waste. And actually there are more than 300 light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, because big building, 200 meters as a circumference. But there are more than 100 strings from the ceiling. So when even you pull one string, you can lit up just only 3 light bulbs. So whenever you need light, you pull the string, and when you don't need it, you know where to turn off. So it's a kind of consciousness now they want to teach. Instead of using latest technology, like that. But yet it's controlled computer center. And also, what kids does when things popping out from ceiling? They got the broom to try to hit it. But the very special detail, when you hit it, it swings back. And lighting design, I call it Mike Tyson detail. It swings back. And now how it's looking like, covered with green. And one day, principal went to buy the lawnmower, the grass cutting machine, that makes the green to be short. And then he came back with the goats and the pony, saying we're gonna let them to eat. And he's still doing so. And then now just we got some academic staffs. How many games are happening on top of the rooftop? Actually, it's not my research. One of the professors did it. And they found 8 times more games than normal kindergarten. Because in normal kindergarten there are playing tools telling children what they should do. But when they found there's no playing tool, they started using architecture features like a skylight or ventilation box, and the trees, and then start creating games. It's very important part. This is a movement of a boy. 7th of September, 10 past 9 to 30 past 9. Believe me, this is 200 meters. He's making circles, and he made more than 6 kilometers in the morning. And a graduate school student really got tired. And now just the principal is saying, maybe the graduate of this kindergarten will get the gold medal back from China. China takes all the gold medal away from Asia. Now we want to get something back. Next I can show you the movie. Takes some time. This is what happens every morning. They start running like this. They never stop That's okay. So I put it like that because it didn't work. And I'm saying, the reason why they keep running like this is that it's grinding worse, so they don't feel like they don't spin out. It's automatic. We are not kicking the ass to run around. It's automatic response. That's a very important thing. So there are several TV programs made just about skin development internationally. This is the one by CNN. They made a 30-minute program just about the skin development. I think one wrong thing about this TV program. They're using Chinese music. Still, they think Japan is a part of China. I think you have same situation. Okay, let's go back to the main topic. Oops. How come? Okay. Go back to the topic. Now, they asked us to design a new small building, very small, around the big tree. And actually, the tree was supposed to be much bigger. But the building is only 5 meters tall, with 7 floors. It's English language class and the bus station. And now, how it's looking like? It's really buried in the tree. We try to make it everything is very thin, so that we can everything melt into the tree. Each clumps are much thinner than the branches, and each clump is about 3 by 3 centimeters, so just about this size. And the floor is 9mm steel with very special insulation and protection on top, so it's only 25 total. Very thin, like laser blade. And you get children again, they love just running around. And now you can see the dimensions. These are the clumps, and these are branches. So just the primary thing is the tree, not the building itself. And whenever we design these kind of things, we put our kids into it, because there are some dangerous points. And our kids are quite well trained. They know how to heal the wounds. And it's my daughter, it's my son, and we don't provide a helmet. And they grow into, he bumped his head, making bruise. So that then I know where we should be careful about. That's okay. I don't know where this is. And you can see that there and then when we found safety, I don't know, still there are things, my daughter started crawling on top of the branch. He started climbing out from the edge of the floor. So now we are putting ropes so that they can jump out. Then we started putting the children. So instead of always our kids do experiment. How they enjoy. You can see how they enjoy the space, and you can see that this guy is outside of the height. It is a traffic jam inside the morning in the Taipei. And now this jam is going away. You can see that how it's looking like. And then we walked out very specific height as they can jump out. Ropes. And then the structure is looking like a vein of the leaf, but we don't imitate it. When we walk out the best structure for this shape, and the shape we walk out through the movement of the kids, and this happened to be exactly similar to leaves, a vein of the leaves. And always see is very special for the kids, because they have never been able to touch a ceiling. So the ceiling is a kind of equivalent to the sky. So they love to touch the ceiling. And then I can show you the lighting scheme. You know, the edge of the building is quite a blur. You know, it's quite, the boundary between inside and outside is not clear. That's how I want to make everything I wanted as a building to be. And we wanted the same as the lighting scheme. We wanted to show, we wanted the feeling of the firefly. You know, the firefly, you know, it's called Hotaru in Japan, you know, and just reaching to the building, but still yet some of these are flying. So this is lighting idea. So we put the cloud of light just leading to the building. Okay, now it's looking like. And then there's a there's one more project to show maybe. Can you talk more? Yeah, yeah. Okay, she is Canadian artist, and she's quite famous to make a quite beautiful net for the kids. And now she's quite famous, having a very dedicated pavilion in Korea and then MoMA and then many countries. And this is 30 years old net. Now in the outdoor garden in Hakone, it's about 80 kilometers away from Tokyo. And it was installed in the university building. That time she wasn't important here at all. So just they made a very simple hat. And since she became so famous, museum changed the idea, saying, okay, we should make a beautiful pavilion for this artwork. So they came to me to design new pavilion, and they asked me to make a white box with steeling to hang this. I said, no, it's a stupid thing, because spider net doesn't look good in a white building. Spider net should stay outside and between the trees in the forest. But they said, no, you can't do that because this area is famous of the hot spring, and the sodium oxide comes out, and when it rains, it melts all the neurons and all these joints. And also, it's so cold in the winter and the snow, we need a roof. And the space needs to be looking outside, but yet we have to cut the wind. So it was quite difficult situation. I said, okay, we make everything looking very natural. This is a site in the drawing, and I made a very small model. And actually, this is the shape of my hand, like this. And it's about this size, a little more than 4 centimeters. And I brought that model to the president of the museum, and he said, "Okay, it's quite charming. I like it. It looks quite environmental friendly." I said, "It's 100% wood." He said, "Okay, it's a good idea." And we had to get the special permission of Ministry of the Environment because it's going to be built in national forest. We're not supposed to build unless we get very special permission. So we brought the same model to the officers. They said, "Okay, it's quite charming. I can give you a stamp." But they didn't know that is 1 to 1,000 scale. It's bigger than the Blue Mosque. And so then we did some thorough study about Japanese temple, and these columns are standing more than 800 years, and just doing some maintenance. And we did a very special. We tried to find a very special joint using just wedges. We didn't want to use any metal joint because metal stays and the wood tends to shrink. And when we make everything with wood, everything shrinks and stays as it is. And then that becomes rules. And then we did try to find a very special geometry because we had to hang 50 tons of the net with kids, and also everything must be stable. It's a very difficult task. There is no force to pull out, and it must be very specific. So this is not just a random shape. It's a fractal, it's very mathematical. Looks quite irrational or erratic, but it's not. It's a very scientific geometry. And we made 3D model, but it's not just 3D model. Each square centimeter has a structural equation algorithm with a certain uncertainty. Do you understand uncertainty? This wood is different from steel. Each part has a kind of failure. So you have to put uncertainty factor. And when you put uncertainty factor in linear equation, do you understand linear equation? The end result never comes out. But when you have a non-linear equation, you can get some kind of result as a percentage. How much percent failure might happen each point. So it's not the shape. It's a pile, just an amazing amount of information piled up as one piece, and each piece got different kind of sections, so that each wood has exactly same amount of bending moment and the shear force. And we pile these things up, and when we get 4 layers, and the geometry becomes stable, it keeps going on. We worked with a professor in MIT and in the United States, and we got this. And actually we worked with a professor, Japanese professor, Professor Imamura, but he's a professor at MIT too. And then we got this. Then now the people from the Ministry of Environment came. He got shocked. He was expecting something small. Now he knows that it was 1,000, 1 to 1. The model was 1 to 1,000 scale. It's monster. And it's my wife. When the wood piece became so big, it's done a really long time. It can stay more than 300 years. And that's how they build it with wedges. And because each piece got very specific geometry, we had to make everything out on the computer. As I said, structure analysis is done in the computer, and running 5 computers for a week. And also we send all the information to the CNC machine, the machine bigger than this room, carving everything out by the very special machine. But yet we need this craftsman to build it up, just like old Japanese or Chinese temple. Now how it's looking, you can see the size of the people. You can see my wife here. Empty tent. And now just I know that the wood is going to melt in the environment. Now inside is looking like this. So it's much better than just white box. You feel that you are as you were in the forest, but I don't imitate the shape of the forest. We try to understand the meaning of the forest, providing some light permeating through the structure, and also soft light coming down, and then the steel wall stops wind coming, because at the elevation there is no hole, but from the angle you can see the sky. And the great thing about net is that kids find their own way to run around. There is no instruction again. You can see how they enjoy it. I like this picture. There you go. And I wanted to have same kind of feeling about our project. We originally were asked to provide benches on the edge, but I said no, we don't want it, because architecture is good enough to make people nest inside the structure. They climb up. Father got tired, and she's crawling on top. My wife and my son. He's cute. and nighttime, and we made a bridge. Same manner. It stand a few hundred years. Which is amazing thing that as long as you provide mass, it stands for a long time. People try to touch it, even though it's a simple shape, they like it. Then the last project I'm going to talk about. It's called Domino House in Rice Paddy. Domino House by Corbusier. It's about grandchildren. This the 60 years old client said, "No, we have four grandchildren, and we want to make a weekend house where our grandchildren want to go." So we made just the domino house. Do you teach student domino house? Yeah, so everybody should know. If you don't understand, you don't get the grade. And we try to make most of the building to be external, and they loved it. And then now Grant said, "No, I don't want to work in Tokyo anymore." So they changed their working place to, this area. So they sold the house in Tokyo. They moved here, and it's about kids. And the Grant provided the swing and the hammock. Now again, we are putting our kids so that we make sure they never jump out from the edge of the balcony. And then we found out it's safe enough. You can see that they enjoy it. You can see with face, they are so happy. One more thing. It's called it's quite old project. It became the front cover of Biennale 2002. This is a forest, natural forest. In the little part of Japan, this area gets heavy snow in the world. And the rice paddy, but in the winter nobody can go there. This area gets 30 meters of snow each year, piling, becoming ice. There's all snow becomes ice, about 7 meters deep. It's a very dangerous place. 7 meters is more than 2 stories high sometimes. And some part become 12 meters deep snow. And we won a competition, and then providing natural science museum. Now it's how it's looking like. It's not just a museum. Actually, it's a research laboratory. 3 scholars are staying throughout the year. Very simple structure with big windows each corner. And each window is quite big. And one window is about the size of this lecture hall, higher than the ceiling. And it's about 70 mil. It's a very expensive window. Each piece of window is about $500,000. So it can stand against snow pressure. By the way, we should talk about the wall. The organizer of the competition said, it's dangerous to show how the building is looking like during construction, because local may say, this is not environment friendly because it's all made of steel. But I said it should be okay. But the curator said, no, I'm going to take care of it. And then the local was looking at the building from the distance. They keep saying, okay, it's quite looking environment friendly structure because it's all made out of wood. But it's not. It's steel with rust growing on top. It's a coated steel. Rust never gets into the inside of the steel, but still stays brown. But when the local came to see the building, when it's completed, they said, "Oh, it's also nice because same as my garage in my village, because his garage is rusty steel." And then we got this, and then lecture hall. The generator is very simple. When you look one side, always just one corner is open, and it's very special geometry. When you when you get one section, one end, right here, and automatically the geometry changes from the bottom to the top. And it's everything is incorporated. And then we got this and a big window. It's made out of plexiglass. It's called acryl. And the great thing about acryl is that there is no joint. It's just one piece with the manual. And also it's so clear. You don't, the acrylic window doesn't change color. And I thought this successful. Then I got a call from curator saying, you know, this is national forest. And now we are not supposed to catch any birds. Now this building is killing birds because birds are bumping in the window because they don't see it. I said, I went to see the curator. I'm saying, and I'm sorry. But the curator said, no, you don't need to say sorry. He took us to his laboratory. There are so many stuffed birds, saying, you know, we are not supposed to catch any birds. Then now we found that we can't do any more research. But the good thing about the building is catching birds for me, helping in my research. It was supposed to be a joke. I did same joke in London. Everybody laughed. And when I did this exactly same joke in New Zealand, they said, "Oh, it's an awful story." Each country has different reaction. It's interesting to see that. And then snow start, 5 minutes, 1 hour, and it's a dead rich snow. Overnight they get 2 meters snow. People get killed so easy. In the deep snow, in the storm, you don't see your palm or when you extend your arm. Completely dark. People dies quite quickly. In a week, you get this amount of snow. The crevasse, crevasse? It's a kind of gap between snow. And if you're caught in this crevasse, there's a river underneath, and you sucked out, and then you have to wait. You have to wait until May to come out. And then section of snow. And the local didn't believe that this window is going to stand. They said, "Are you sure this stand?" I said, "It's okay. Don't worry about it." They called again. "Are you sure?" I said, "Should be okay." They called me again. Scary. And actually, we found out it's beautiful. There's a line of light coming through the top of the window. We call it Tadao Ando effect. Now just coming to the end. The tsunami came. I think tsunami may come to Taiwan as well. Sometime. It's very dangerous. This is one of the area, and you can see that the car is on top of the building. And this area, tsunami reached 40 meters. Can you imagine 40 meters? How tall is this building? How many stories do you have in this building? 8 stories. So this is about less than 30 meters. So the depth of the snow, depth of the tsunami was 10 meters higher than this building. That's the reason why people die. It's amazing. But it may come to Taiwan. They should know. Then this is how tsunami came. You can see how deep it is. This is the size of the house. And there are trees. And this is the starting point of the story. The local tsunami come to this area every 300, 500 years. Not like this time, this side of tsunami didn't come more than 5,000 years. So that's the reason why nobody was prepared. But every 300 years, they get somehow 10 meter deep tsunami. So the local plant trees when tsunami hit the area, and a few hundred years, these trees get soaked in seawater, and the water stays. Tsunami is not just one way. Once water comes, stays in this area for a day, and this back and keep doing back and forth, and every ground is soaked by seawater, and all plant dies. And these trees were planted about 500 years ago, all dead. And the government started saying, chopping all these trees, using this as a biofuel. But I said wrong thing to do because it's not planted by you, the government. It's planted by local to provide construction material for the local. It's from the gift from ancestors. So I said we should use it, make use of it. There's a temple on the hill, and the monk in the temple kept saying local to leave, to escape from the tsunami when the earthquake comes. So in that area, not so many people died because the region helped them. So storytelling is very important. And if we build things with the tree and the dead tree, maybe the building will tell same story to our grandchildren or grandchildren that they need to escape because these our columns were made out of tree killed by tsunami. So we started making columns like this. You see how big it is. So this is the kind of thing. It's quite big, so it's very traditional shape because it's a design for temple, and it's a kindergarten. How do you know how big it is? Now it's coming to the end. We drive this kind of car. It's old Citroen, Citroen, and this is not exactly beautiful car, but yet we learn a lot from this car. The carbon dioxide created by a running car is less than producing less than time producing a car. You understand? Running car is not a big issue. How people make the car is a problem. That is where we create more carbon dioxide. Some people say 5 times more than a car produces carbon dioxide. And this car, great thing about this car was in production for 50 years. Same car. And the people kept loving. But if you look at Toyota, Japanese company, they change the model every year or every other year. So people keeps, trashing car, buying new one. It's good for economy. And then it's car, so it's you can't do that. Because you can't do the same thing about architecture. Once you build it, you can publish it. Always architecture magazine want to have a quite new, that's beautiful. But if you look at 10 years old architecture magazine, you get surprised. Many architectures design are obsolete. Always, as long as you are following the latest mode of architecture, you are always out of the mode. So, the picture on the architecture magazine is yesterday's news. You have to know what's beyond it, or something stand for a long time. And this is a great thing about this car. People kept loving this car. Citroen wanted to stop the production of this car because it's obsolete. The original design was made before World War II, but people loved it. So they couldn't stop until 1989 or something like that. And the great thing about the car is that, it's so manual. You can be a part of it. There are so many things going wrong, but still people love it. When it's so hot, you can open the ceiling, but when it's rain start, you can open this small window underneath the front window. But if you forget to close it when you get into expressway, water starts splashing into your body and making a pond on the floor. But instruction is saying there's a rubber plug on the floor. You can let the water out, it's not the perfect. And the owner of the house said, you never get the 100% satisfaction from test graphics, but you would love it 120%. Do you understand what it means? You can't make architecture design for the perfection because it's not production. You have to make one by one. Always there are failure. But if you find a very charming feature, if people find very charming feature, people try to keep it. Some people saying we have to make a durable structure for centuries, but it's not the issue. Now it's easy to make architecture stand for any kind of aspect. Structure is quite easy, but people destroy it because people doesn't love it anymore. So fondness, do you understand the word called fondness? How people love things, adore, charming, they feel charming. And that's the kind of important thing. The great thing about this car is that you can put many people in. You can put many things in. Thank you very much. Before I pass this. And I got 2 sets of my monographs, 1, 2, 3, and whoever makes good question, I can give you the set of the monographs, and it's 1, 2, 3. One from exhibition 1, exhibition 2. And one from architecture museum in Frankfurt. And one set. I have another set in the back. So maybe you should select the student, or it's okay. So somebody wants to make a question, raise their hand, and so we choose one. It's quick. Yes, please. That must be a good question. Okay, you say so. Nobody wants to look? I can't hear you. You are big, but your voice is small.
Very much. You show us lots of real cases, which is about changing lifestyle. We've been told for a long time that something about lifestyle is the key element of our design, but we seldom feel this in the real case. Maybe we think the concept too important that we ignore the lifestyle thing. My question is, as you know, we're designing school. We'll never build up in the real life, and we'll never know if our design changed people's life or not. So how can we learn such an important thing when we're still students, when we're still in school?
I can tell you the only way, grow old. You know about life. Talk to Professor Kato. He has gone through all kinds of things, and with girlfriends, wives, and the kids, and yes, then make a girlfriend and travel around, and then you know what life is. And staying in the studio is not the answer. If you want to know more about, life, you should go to Afghanistan. Or you should go to India. You should go to other countries. Then you know what it is. You should know that you are living in very rich country. You are in very exclusive area. then you know what you have now. Get out from this country, and then you see what you have. Do you understand what it means? Okay? I think that is important thing. I think you get this.
So it's a good question.
I think so.
他赚到。
He got the three.
No problem. So right now you use three. Each one have one question. So first.
Okay, I've been to Fuji in kindergarten last year. I like the tree house. I want to ask the question is, first when I see the tree house, I don't understand why they have so different label. You know, it's so lower. I can get into it. And finally, the kid out of the class, and I see how they use it. And I want to ask, do you have after you made a design and the user how to use the place is all of your expect. You know, for me, I don't know how to use it until I see them use it. So it's every time you make the design, it's just like how you image all of your imagination. Okay, thank you.
Do you know the reason why you don't know how to use it? The reason why you don't know how to use it is that you are too old. You are supposed to be at the 6 years old because you got a different eye level, and then you'd understand when you have a child because you know how they look things around. But the reason why I understand them is that we have children. And always I look at them and then so we have a conversation with them. And there are a few things out of our control. You know, just the tree grows, and there are more ropes for the security reasons. But still, I think still it was within my expectation. You know, I don't deny any changes happening with the building. You know, because you know, architecture is a symbiosis. You know, symbiosis. You know, we human beings have a mitochondria, and then in each cell, you know, mitochondria, small things, and those bacteria. All these are kinds of things that are living in your body. And the same, you can say same thing with architecture. Architecture without human being is just shell. And when you put people life for the people, then alive people, and then it becomes alive. Just one living thing, symbiosis. Do you understand what that means? Then everything starts working. Okay? And okay, I have books, and you choose one. This is about. This is with Fuji Kindergarten. This is with an old project. You know. This is not. This is with German and English. So if you read German, and English, so I know the English as well. And then the one. This is about roof house 1, 2. And the German from the exhibition in Germany. Okay.
手塚さん、今日は本当に貴重な時間を割いていただきありがとうございます。
Yeah, you will translate yourself.
I know, but as a student, that's kind of. Oh, okay. Maybe it's better to in English because otherwise you don't really understand it. Because I start to understand answering your question in Japanese. Nobody understands it.
You can speak in English, but if you can use
Okay, so you send them in Chinese there? Okay.
それで手塚さんの作品を見てまず思ったのは建築が本当に来てるんだなっていうことです。普通建築雑誌で見る建築はその人とかあんま映さないでその建築のそのままの姿っていうのを見せると思うんですが、手塚さんの場合はなんか人がいてこそその建築の空間が分かるような気がして、それで思ったのがその手塚さんのその作品の中で、一番びっくりした使われ方って何ですか？我先问他的是，因为他的建筑就是他的建筑的照片里面一定有人。那一般的建筑的杂志上面我们看的都是就是故意不照那个人，可是他的作品是有人，所以他的建筑的空间才会开始有活。所以我觉得他的建筑是一个真的是很活泼的一个建筑。那我问他的是，那在你设计那个建筑里，你最被吓到就是使用者的是怎么被使用？是就是他最惊讶的是什么？
You know, I must say, we don't get surprised or annoyed so often because everything happening there is quite within our expectation. But yet, there are some still, beyond my expectation. And when we were doing we are doing project in RA time. For example, the roof house was very, very much beyond the expectation. That is when we learn about architecture, what the architecture can do. We know that something funny might happen, but over 10 years, they kept some, how did it, enlighten us, teach enlightenment, you can start with logic, but logic is the beginning, and then the user makes more rich, something rich. So just like raising children, there are things, making us surprised, but it's not just wow, it's not what I expected. Just okay, how much they could reach, that kind of feeling. And when we put children on first time on top of the roof of the kindergarten, my wife started crying because as soon as they go up, they start running, and the amazing sound came down from the ceiling. It's how do you call it? It's not surprise. It's appreciation and the joy. The feeling is joy. Exactly the kind of thing we get. Do you understand? Okay. We get the 1 and the 2. What if we can get one of each? 2 is with the kindergarten, 1 is with the roof house. question? Okay.
Thank you, Professor. And I think it's a dream to have no boundary between the nature and human beings. And I'm so encouraged by you told us that we have to be conscious when we are doing the project, to knowing how we're doing the function between the environment and human lifestyle. And my question is, what is the program you're between maintenance and the design?
Sorry, I don't understand the program.
Yeah. How do you handle the program of maintenance after?
Requirements from the client. But handle the requirements from the client.
Yes, and the maintenance of that building.
So
Yes.
okay. So it's not just one question. How to deal with the request? Okay. Actually, there are some people that how do you make such a kind of good relationship with the client? Because some people think just only good client, but the old client makes a good request to provide this kind of answer. It's not easy because when we don't get good client, and when we get the client who doesn't understand our concept at all, always we try to get fired. So we get sacked by clients so often. We try to get sacked, fired, because we can't provide what we don't believe. Still, there are some projects, out of our control, but still 90%, 95% of projects are still within our control because we select the clients. That's very important thing. I don't, some people, some architects try to get the contract before they make drawing or model in a scheme. And our style is different. Okay, if you're serious about, I provide scheme, but don't talk to anybody else. And just give us 5 to 6 weeks, and we work very seriously. We make more than 100 models, at least 100 models to make 100 models to get one idea to provide idea, and we make big one after we make decision, and we show all the ideas, and we explain the reason why we selected this is the best, and most of them understand, and if they don't understand, it's better not to get contract, because there is no way we can teach everybody else. If we can teach adults, they are grown up, we can't change the basic idea. But still, eventually I think stations get bigger, better. And the second question is the maintenance. Of course, there are things going wrong. So if something goes wrong, I apologize and I fix it. That's all I can do. But it's a part of life. Just as I said, the roof house, the owner of the roof house said you can't get 100% satisfaction with this graphics, but you will love the project 120%. As providing a good house is just like providing a child. When you have a child, you never get satisfied with your kids. There are so many things go wrong with the kids, but you love it. So that kind of deficit is not important anymore. The important thing is that how much you love it. So when they love the architecture, the maintenance is not a problem. You know, if there are 40 part, client said, it's okay. You know, there are so many things going beyond my expectation. I love it. So, just like taking a child to the doctor. Okay. I think that's real. I love it.
Okay, I think the time is maybe will be end because the professor Tezuka we don't have a dinner right now. So maybe we should take him to have a dinner. But I appreciate very much that today you share your happiness within architecture. And I think I appreciate very much that you convey some ideas. Architecture not just a form, quantity, the true is the idea of life. So maybe students can think about how to create new life. I think it's very important.